This always reminds me of the holiday. When he sees her waiting in the bar, the pub. All right, y'all, we're back. This is the vibe of this week. Are you ready? Here it is, people.
It's alright, 'cause there's beauty.
Let go. Just dive in. There's beauty in the breakdown. Y'all know what it is. It's a week 9. I'm your cosmic bestie. I'm Cara Hart. I'm a numerologist, best-selling author, and astrologer. And this is my best friend, Sophie One,
astrologer and celestial guide.
And we're here to give it to you this week, the weekly cosmic forecast. And I should not have put my phone down because I actually don't know the dates. It's February 23rd through March 1st.
My God, we are just cruising.
We are just flying through the year, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a week 9 in numerology. This is all about completion, letting go, surrendering to the unknown. We are in a universal year 9, so y'all already know this energy. I know it's a year 9. It's a week 9. It's a lot of 9 energy, okay? But the good thing about the 9 is that it comes in and it clears out everything that just isn't supposed to be there anymore. But that means there can be a lot of painful endings, a lot of emotions that come up. I feel like I talk ad nauseum about the 9, especially as it's the year 9. And I did put out my year 9 survival guide. So be sure to check that out. It's in the description box.
You need it. I mean, the 9 can be traumatizing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I could say about the 9 that we haven't already spoken about. I mean, again, it is this energy of letting go, and that can be so painful. I think the hardest thing for most humans, I mean, myself included, is releasing attachment.
Yeah.
We get so attached to things, and not just like physical things, but we get really attached to how things should go. Like, I did this, this, and this, so this should happen.
Outcomes. We get attached to outcomes, but also we get attached to versions of ourselves because it's like you created this beautiful dream and vision of what you thought your life was going to look like, a version of you, and you need to mourn that and let that go because you're constantly coming into alignment and realignment.
Yeah. And I think too, like a lot of that letting go, especially if you're in a person in year 1, that's like one of the hardest things you have to kind of grapple with, is that you're becoming this new person. You have to really let go of like that version of yourself that you were committed to. It's like, if you define yourself in one way, but that's actually not who you are anymore. Like if you're like, oh, I'm Sophie One, an astrologer, but actually like, I don't want to do astrology anymore. That could lead to some sort of identity crisis for sure. But again, it's about redefining who you are and your attachments and just letting go of what no longer resonates. There could be a sudden ending. There could be an ending you don't expect, or, not all endings are bad. It could be that you completed something too.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people will like graduate uni or complete a project in a 9. So there might be something you've been working on or a deal you've been working on. And you're like, oh my God, finally closed the deal. This is finally over. I can now move on. So this might also be a celebration of that completion.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth maybe journaling on what endings are you calling forth? What would you like to complete? Maybe something you've been putting off.
Yeah.
Something I like to do to get ahead of the 9 energy is to purge everything that I don't need physically.
Ooh,
so like I'll go through my closets.
What a great tip.
I'll go through my closets. I'll go through my drawers, and I'll be like, okay, do I really need this? Like, when was the last time I wore this? Or when was the last time I used this? Or do I still resonate with this thing anymore? Like I remember I helped my girlfriend Brittany in New York go through her closet, and she hadn't gone through her closet in years, and she had all these tops from uni still. And for some reason, when she was at uni, she was really into ruffles. So literally like everything had fucking ruffles on it. And I was like, girl, ruffles are not in anymore. Nobody likes this. It doesn't look good. Yeah. And so like she had ruffled skirts and all these ruffled tops. And we're like, we got to get rid of this.
Yeah.
So anyways, we threw all those out. it was so funny though, because I'm like, what? When did you even wear? I never saw her in a ruffle, okay? But the point is, you got to clear out the old to welcome in the new. And I do find like last time I cleaned out my closet, I got rid of so much and I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh my God, I like barely have any clothes now. Although I am someone who packs light usually.
Yeah,
I like to have a lot of stuff.
You're traveling around a lot.
Yeah. But I remember I was like, do I have enough jackets? I'm like, oh, whatever. I can always get one if I need to. And then like literally that week, my friend who's a stylist had this beautiful vintage coat that she gifted me. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So again, like that's always how it works out. You like let go of shit. New stuff can come in. It's like you see people who are in relationships for like 5 years. They go through a breakup and within like 2 months meet like the love of their life and marry that person. It's so bizarre. Right. So clear out the space. It's making way for the new. You might feel emotional, especially with the astrology, but like
there's a lot.
Great.
You always say let
this.
go, let God. And I really love that.
Yeah. Let go and let God.
I also thought of do a cord cutting meditation if you feel like you've let go, but you really haven't. I think it's the one that you sent. You sent me the one that I do.
have that relationship one.
Yeah.
If you're struggling to let go of a relationship though, and you do a cord cutting meditation, you will have a breakdown. You will be very sad.
It's so good though.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a new moon?
Yeah. So it's a new moon week as well, which is really interesting. But this new moon, it's on Thursday. Mark your calendars, Thursday, February 27th. And it's going to be in Western Pisces, but Vedic.
Huzzah!
Yeah, it's Aquarius for Vedic. But what's specifically this new moon's going to be asking you is what boundaries must you cross for greater understanding? Pisces is interesting. They have boundary problems.
I know.
But I know it. Pisces, they have boundary problems because they're so connected to the spiritual dimension, and it is the sign
They're the old soul of the zodiac.
Absolutely. And this new moon's going to be squaring Jupiter. So it's really meant to propel you into big growth, but that growth is going to be really hard. And in the 9, when you have to let go, like that's you making space to level up. And that's what I really see this as. The specific lunar mansion that it's in is all about healing, uncovering the truth. It's literally, I don't even want to say the name because it's just a mouthful, but just know that this new moon is here to support like clearing of the attachment so that you can really come into like your own truth and heal and move forward.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put that cord cutting meditation in the description box for everybody. It's a really good one, and honestly,
it's so good.
You
and
don't
it's not even that long. People are like, "Oh, I don't want to do it 20 minutes." I was like, "It's 8 minutes."
What are you talking? Who said that?
I've had so many people say that. I'm like, "Did you even fucking look at this?" Like, I was almost offended. I was like, "It's 8 minutes. Calm down." But yeah,
No, the thing about the cord cutting meditation too is like it's good to do it just to clear the energy between two people. It doesn't have to be like, just because you're doing a cord cutting doesn't mean like I cut them off, we're done.
Yeah.
That's not what it means. It's like cleansing the energy between you guys so that if you come back or when you see each other next, it's a better energy between y'all, right? And like it's even good to do with like family members.
Yeah,
or
I've done it with friends, members.
People you work with. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah. But like, I mean, that's the biggest one. But I do want to talk about a couple other things that are happening because early this week on Sunday, Mars finally goes direct, which is interesting.
Okay.
And Mars,
we've been waiting for that.
I have been waiting for it. So Mars is the planet of action. It's energy. It's like the god of war. It's a go, go, go. It's finally going direct. So it's like you might have been kind of sitting on a lot of feels. You might have been sitting on kind of just marinating on like, what do I really want to do? How do I want to conduct myself? All these kind of things. And now you're at this culmination point when it's direct and you're like, okay, I'm ready. Right? And it's interesting because I actually think that the first act of creation is destruction. And that goes along well with the 9. So make sure you actually fucking clear so that you can start anew. Don't drag that shit into the 1 or into the next, chapter. Clear it.
Yeah.
And Mercury trines Mars on that same day on Sunday, right? So Mercury is communication, plans, logistics. It is in a positive aspect with this Mars energy. So it's almost like this good time of like making sure you really, really know what you want in terms of like the clearing and the starting. I feel like there's this energy of like, it's clear, it's crystal clear now, like for real. That is how we start off Sunday. Do you have any thoughts about Sunday in general before I move on?
Okay, let me see. Because I know that there's a bunch.
I mean, I just wrote a bunch of notes about the new moon.
Monday,
we have a Mercury conjunct Saturn. So it's interesting because I feel like Mercury, communication, like this like beginning of the week, like something about information you're meant to receive is really, really important that I want you to pay attention to, right? And it has to do with this new moon. And it does have to do with your attachments and what do you need to let go of. And like that's really the message that's coming through strongly of what I need to tell you guys.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think these are like too bad.
They're not.
I mean, Mercury conjunct Saturn is going to be uncomfortable because Saturn just forces you to mature, and who wants that? But other than that,
not us,
not me. I'm a kid forever.
We have Venus retrograde starting on Saturday, March 1st. Just heads up.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
God,
So
dude, the last time Venus went retrograde, I had
happened?
so many relationship problems. Oh my God.
Buckle up.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk more about that? Are we talking about Venus retrograde next week, or should we talk more about Venus? Because I mean, everyone's going to be freaking out about Venus retrograde. Look, Venus is the planet of love and money. And when it's retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards, but it's not. It's like Mercury retrograde energy, but with love and money specifically. So the way it's played out for me, I remember the last time Venus was retrograde.
Yeah, what happened? Tell us.
Well, that was when I had gone through my breakup with the Six of Spades.
Oh, and my goodness.
And he had like tried to come back, and I was like, no, I don't think so.
Oh God.
But we were like doing this whole sing-song dance where we were like, we were still talking.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, no, let's like, look, like, I don't know about getting back together, but I think that like, we have stuff that we should chat out.
Yeah,
and like, I'm willing to get coffee with you when I come back from London.
Yeah.
And then we spoke every day. And then when I got back from London, he's like, I can't see you. And I was like, why have we been talking for the past 2 months? What is this all about? But that started around the Venus retrograde time. So again, like, if you're in some weird, ambiguous relationship, or you're kind of like trying to decide what to do about a relationship, just don't make those decisions during Venus retrograde.
Any kind of retrograde means review, reflect, refine,
reassess,
redefine, recycle, all the R words.
Reduce, and close the loop.
I feel like you should make a little song for each video now.
I should.
And I think that during that time, the last time you had that Venus retrograde, you were really supposed to reassess like that.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's why it was back and forth. That's what happened.
That nearly killed me, you guys. Sophie can tell you.
It did. Oh, nearly. I mean, God.
It was so bad.
I fucking witnessed this firsthand. And
what's crazy is when he first came back, of course, he messaged me right when I landed in London. Like, you couldn't have messaged me when I was down the street from you.
Yeah.
It's like he knew somehow. And I hadn't put it on social media or anything. And then I remember I was like, I don't know what to do with this, Sophie. So I just let it be for a moment. And then remember we went to Peak District with Rowett. And that's when I got another message from him being like, hey, can we please talk?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, Venus is retrograding, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's like,
everything happens for a reason, but I'm just learn from my mistakes. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, for those of the viewers that are wondering, like, would you say relationships can take off in a Venus retrograde? I'm just thinking of all my single peeps out there.
I don't think Venus retrograde is a good time to start a new relationship. I think like if someone from the past comes back that it wasn't like my intense, I had lived with that person. We had been together for years and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so that's why, but I just had this happen recently during the last Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
Or someone I had connected with. Not necessarily romantic, came back, could have been romantic.
Yeah.
Remember? And I was like,
yeah.
oh, well, this makes sense for us to finally link up for coffee and have a little chit chat because, you know, we had already kind of established something before.
Oh my God, so true. So you might actually have love from the past come back in a way to revisit or don't even like.
But I think if it's
love,
not serious.
Yeah.
Like if you would like, I don't know, maybe matched with someone on Hinge or some dating app and like y'all talked, but it never went anywhere. And then they kind of circle back and they're like, yo, what about that coffee? Like, I think that is fine to like go grab that coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think if an ex-boyfriend you were deeply in love with decides to get back together with you and they haven't done it, they're completely the same.
Or reflecting on their end.
Yes, don't do it. Just be like, you know what? Let me get back to you in like 40 days. I think it's 40 days.
Yeah.
Venus is retrograde. I'll have to double check that.
I know. I was like, I have it. I have the end of when it ends.
Yeah.
I want to say it ends in like April, but I got to double check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's this week. I think this was a longer one. I don't even know how long we've been talking for.
No. Well, there's a lot with the new moon and the Mercury and the Mars going direct, but the Venus retrograde. That's literally how I feel.
Good point. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. We are your cosmic besties and we're here to support you. And if y'all want to dive even deeper, check out the description box because we got offerings, we got courses, we got reports, we got freebies. We got y'all covered. You're not alone in this. We're here for you. So go ahead, check that out. Hit the subscribe button and we will see you next week.